Hi, today I'd like to address an email that I got from a woman named Sarah, and this is what she writes. I am so depressed and I just don't know how to snap out of it. I feel guilty because my friends are worried about me, but I am really trying hard to fight this battle and I will win. I just don't know what I'm doing wrong. Can you help me? First of all, Sarah, I'd like to point out the fact that you're not alone. This particular season, with seasonal depression, and this usually happens in the wintertime and especially before Christmas, this particular year, it's been really prominent, and people are depressed across the globe as far as I'm concerned. So you are not alone. That's the first thing to remember. Now, in my particular case, I've been suffering from depression for years and years, and I have learned how to channel it and how to apply life skills to make it a lot more easy on me when I do go through a depression. Now, the first thing is that I've learned what triggers my depression. Now, in my case, because I suffered a trauma, I still have, from PTSD, I still have nightmares to this day. Like, I was gang raped and kidnapped like 40 years ago. To this day, I still have nightmares. And sometimes I'll wake up and I'll be in this really depressed mood, and I'll know, oh, I had a nightmare last night. And, and from there I can deal with the situation. Now, another thing that triggers depression for me is if I'm under a lot of stress. So if something is really creating a lot of anxiety within my personal life, like if it's a relationship or, just anything that could be happening in my personal life at the time, this could trigger a depression. So, I have to be careful that I recognize my stress levels. So, what I've learned to do, and this really does work, and this was something that I got, like when you said, I'm really trying hard to fight this battle. I actually believe that you can't fight depression. It's never going to leave. If you are somebody who has had depression for years, rather than fighting it like it's the enemy or like there's this war going on, it's better just to accept that it's a part of your life. And this is what I've done. I've accepted it to the point where when I wake up on those mornings when I feel depressed, I accept it, I surrender to it, I release it, and I make adjustments to my schedule. So what I'll do is I'll cancel certain appointments if I can. I'll take the day off work. I'll just veg in front of the TV, and it passes. Now, that's another thing about depression that you have to understand. It always passes. It's never a permanent thing. I don't know if anyone's ever had a totally depressed state for more than, a month, say, without being in a psych ward, because it's not usually the tendency. It's usually up and down. Like some days you feel good and then you're down and you're up. It's just that we forget those good times and we focus on the bad times, on those depressed times. And that's what, makes us think that we're always depressed. Now, it never lasts. So, fighting the depression actually creates momentum to keep the depression going. So the more you fight it, the longer it lasts. And this is what I've learned in my experience. Now, it says that you feel guilty because your friends are worried about you. And you know what? You have to forgive yourself. Depression is an honest part of your self-growth and your personal growth. And whatever triggered your depression, and it doesn't say in your letter what it is, but you know what? It doesn't even matter. Everybody gets depressed at one type of level or another, and if you accept it and surrender to it, you'll be able to deal with it a lot better. And in the guilt feelings that you feel because you're affecting your friends, forgive yourself for that. It's just a part of it. You can't put all that guilt on yourself because everybody has it. So why blame yourself? And that's another common trait of somebody who's depressed a lot. They always blame themselves for everything. So this is something that you should really be careful of. And if you do feel guilty, then don't tell anybody about your depression. Kind of just keep it to yourself until you learn how to deal with it, and that will help. Now, for me, I've learned over the years to, when I'm in that depressed state, like let's say I've woken up, I'm depressed, I take the day off, what I do is during the day I try and replace those moments with memories of times when I was filled with love and happiness, and that helps to get out of the mood and helps it to accelerate its its end in my psyche. But also I have different activities that bring me such joy that sometimes it will, trigger, like that snapping out of it that you were talking about. For example, one thing that really, really brings me a lot of joy is animals. I love dogs and I love cats, and I'll go to the dog park and I'll watch the dogs play, and being out in nature with all the trees at the dog park, and seeing how happy the dogs are playing. It just brings such joy to my heart, and that sometimes will just snap me right out of a depression. Other things that I do, I love movies. I love to watch movies, so I'll watch something funny. I'll talk to a very dear friend. Like, there are certain friends that always elevate my mood. My friend Teresa, my friend Janet. I have several friends that just always make me feel good about myself. And it's not me calling them and saying, oh, I'm feeling really depressed. No, I call and we just talk about general things. We just have a connection. We learn from each other. And, these people inspire me, and it really helps me to get out of that mood. So when it comes to depression, I just want to recap this. What you want to do is you want to accept it. Realize that you are not alone. Know that it never lasts for very long. It's always going to go up and down. And what you want to do is focus on those good times that you feel good, and not the times that you feel depressed. Because if you actually monitor every day, your levels of depression, there are a lot of days that you're feeling really good. So focus on those good days and not on those bad days. And forgive yourself. Don't blame yourself for feeling that way, because everybody goes through it. And find things that bring you joy throughout the day. Find memories within your brain over the past that have been some really good times in your life that you can recall, and that'll elevate your mood. So what you want to do is you want to get through that depression by trying to get your emotions into a better place. So even one peg higher for the next day will be better, and then it'll disappear. So I hope that was helpful, Sarah. And if anyone has any questions, please email me or send me your questions down below. And if you like this channel, please subscribe to it. I would really appreciate the support. Thank you.